Hey, thanks for joining me in my little corner of the world. Over to you. This is a wonderful new year that we're entering in. It is 2026 as I am issuing this. So we got some great new stuff coming out here in the new year. I have been doing this for now over 5 years, talking to a lot of great people. Today is absolutely no exception to that. It's always a pleasure to speak with John McCutcheon, who is one of the first people who came on this podcast, and I'm losing count how many times he's been here. But he's here with Tom Paxton today. We talk about so many great things about their great new release called Together Again. It's another collaboration that they have put together, and what I have found out is that they get together quite frequently on Zoom. Well, every week, precisely around 2 o'clock on Mondays, and they just really hash out a lot of work together. And it's just a full volume of wonderful songs on this release that are very introspective. And we get deep into that, into the entire writing process, and also their love of Shel Silverstein, who I haven't thought of in ages. I remember reading some of his works to my kid way back in the day. But Together Again is out, and get it wherever you get that music. It is just a wonderful collection of songs where they both reminisce and think about the future as well. Just very, very deep and wonderful to speak with these two guys. So I hope you enjoy our little episode here and see you on the other side of this thing.
So we meet again.
We do. You're becoming really regulars here. We should have you on every week.
Bob, this is Tom Paxton.
Tom Paxton, how are you doing this afternoon?
Great.
I'm slowly emerging from my tryptophan coma from all the turkey.
Yeah, Turkey has, now they say on a comet that there's tryptophan on that comet that's headed here.
Oh,
We're all gonna be
fantastic.
tired.
We're all going to watch football.
We've had it then.
Yeah, so you guys are together again. You have a
We
great new
are.
release. This is awesome. You had so much material left over, decided to cobble together yet another album. That's amazing how you were able to do that.
Well, we did. We keep at it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We've known each other for decades, and we've done the odd show together over the years. But
And it's always
th-
odd.
Yeah.
yeah, but this is a partnership,
Mm.
and we work at it. We commit to one meeting a week, and it's over 5 years now. A lot of songs get written in that time.
Yeah, and very autobiographical as well too. There's so much perspective, and this is so rich and deep in history. Together again, so many great tracks on here that really do give the listener a window into your lives and your perspectives. And I could see that in so many of these tracks, and a lot of reflection too, which is really poignant.
Well,
Well, it is to me, and I'm sure to John.
well, there's some songs here that only Tom could have brought.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the Rebel Gal, for instance. I mean, he was a kid during World War II, and it's been a lifelong interest. And even in I Ran Away with the Circus. I mean, I brought that idea after I took my kids to a really crappy mall,
Being
mall
honest
parking
here.
lot circus out at North Lake Mall. But then eventually somehow in the middle of writing it, it was like, well, we haven't said when this is. So all of a sudden, December 1941 comes in and he runs away to the circus again at the end of the war. So it's such a rich thing for me to be writing with one of the people whose songs I was learning as a teenager.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, back to Rebel Gal. It's fantastic to me to finish that song. I actually conceived the chorus of that song back in the 70s. I was in what's the town in Ohio that's right field.
Oh,
Dayton.
Dayton, Dayton, Ohio. We're right Patterson
Dayton.
Airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Air
playing
Force Base.
a date there, and in my hotel there was a reunion going on,
Hmm.
and I was in the elevator with a bunch of vets, and in the time it took for that road to go up, I just was I wrote the chorus,
Yeah.
and that's what 50 years ago. I wrote, we came in over the coast of France at 18,000 feet, and all of us were very young, and life was very sweet. And that's all I had. And I never completed the song until just now when we were working on this album.
Yeah.
I said, I've got to finish that song.
Did you have that written down? Like nowadays, people use technology to
Yeah, no,
record their melody.
I left it in my heart.
Nice.
It was there all those years. I never had to write that down.
And it was interesting because that's kind of how our partnership works. One of us will come in with a line or in this case, a chorus, and we so easily surrender to the partnership
Oh yeah,
that it's like, oh, I had an idea, but we can do that next week. This is cool. And there's a whole lot of what ifs in the course of this process. And in fact, interesting fun fact, we had not really thought that this was going to be on the album. We didn't have a melody for it or anything. And we came in one day and I said, I think I've got a melody for this. And pretty much everything else was recorded. And I said, well, what about this? And and then it was like, okay, I'm just a guitar player here. Tom, you got to tell this story.
Great. And you trigger each other, and it's nice to have that kind of discipline that you get together on a regular basis and you're able to do that and be inspired to do that and come up with these kind of great ideas. And I like how you're reminiscing about things that go back to that childhood and nothing like Last Man Sitting. I just, I could picture, I don't need a music video.
right.
You're painting that for me.
Sure.
Well, that was
It would be nice to see a video of it, though, wouldn't it?
You could do something really nice with that, especially
Sure,
animation
sure.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, interestingly enough, I read that story in the AJC and in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution,
Yeah.
and it was, and I just thought, oh, well, number one is an interesting twist on Last Man Standing, and it's such a common story. I mean, I see these guys. Sometimes they're at a restaurant. Sometimes there's a bunch of guys at the gym I go to, and the only thing I ever see them working out are their jaw muscles. But they are there faithfully
Yeah.
every day, and you just think, well, especially as you get older, you look forward to these social contacts. They say this is what helps you live longer, helps you keep your mind going, and it's certainly been that way with me and Tom. I mean, I just feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we'd only ever written one song together like 30 years ago.
Longer.
Yeah, and it was, and so part of this started at the beginning of the pandemic, and I think part of it was just, I'm lonely. Are you lonely? Don't
Yeah.
don't
Nothing
you
wrong with
just
saying
want to
that.
hang out with a friend? And
Yeah.
the thing is we have such similar ways of writing, and I guess I learned from really good teachers that we spend probably half our time, and we're meeting again in like an hour and a half. Um,
Yes.
we'll tell jokes, we'll talk sports, we'll talk about friends who are ill or who have died or something great has happened for them. And then most of these songs were probably written in about 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes. It
Yeah.
doesn't take long if when you have an idea, it comes.
Yeah.
So is this what every Monday at 2 is all about? Is
Yep.
that
Yeah.
yeah. I love
That's what
that.
we
Yeah,
make.
it's a great track with a great country-ish feel to it. I love that.
And
It's like comfort.
it occurs to me that people might think, well, that's awfully cut and dried. It's like going to the office, and I say, yes, it is, and that's the good thing about it, is that we can count on it, and we can count on when we get together on these regular prescribed occasions that perhaps people might scorn as being scheduled art or something. What happens is that we create art. Art happens when we say, well, you have anything? You know, you have an idea or no idea? And the pens come out, and we dip into that part of our minds where songs are, and it's a magical. It's always magical. My God, a minute ago there was no song, and now there is.
It's
Kind of moment.
it's the closest thing I've ever felt to giving birth, which
Yes.
which is something that none of the three of us can do, no matter what the woke crowd
No,
says.
not
Um,
yet. Not yet.
Technology hasn't gotten there yet. Yeah.
and it really is, number one, if Tom and I were working for a publishing company in Nashville, that's exactly how those songs get written.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, you show up every day and, well, hell, Richard Thompson, the great
Oh yeah.
English songwriter, gets on a bus every morning and goes across London to his office, writes, breaks for lunch, checks out at 5 and takes the bus back home. I mean, but at the same time, when I know 2 o'clock on Monday is coming, it's like something amazing is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when the result, as the song says, is not a home run, what better could you be doing
Yeah.
Right.
with that time? I can't think of anything. I mean, both
We
Tom and I write with lots of people. We
we
whore around all over the songwriting world, and
That's it
and
for the
everybody's
metaphor.
different.
We foul a lot of moth, and we certainly have had our Mondays with uh, inconclusive,
Sure.
Well,
dry holes. But we know that. That's
and
nothing to fear. That's nothing to fear.
no, I mean, if we were baseball players and we struck out 7 times out of 10, we would be shoo-ins for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Sure, we would. Yeah,
That works. Yeah, you get your 10,000 hours in, as that saying goes.
sure.
So you
Yeah,
you really do make that. And not everything's a hit. So, but
that's
it's
right.
good. You keep your minds so much sharper that way. You are doing something that where you're using it, just like regular physical exercise too. The mental, just as important, if not more.
And if we were baseball players, we would have been retired for 50 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Now, the thing is that what we are telling our unconscious minds is that this is the kind of thing we're looking for, because at all times be looking for something to give us when we ask for an idea. Um, and maybe the Bible tells us, seek and ye shall find, you know. It's astonishing to me the wealth of ideas that it's an inexhaustible supply of the kind of thing we're looking for, and so we shouldn't be surprised when we find stuff.
And one of the things that that I learned from Tom back when I was that kid is that you could be funny.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The
Almost
humor is in
nobody
there.
else, almost nobody else. Well, Shel Silverstein
Oh,
was almost nobody. Dylan wasn't writing funny songs.
No.
Tim
no,
Hardin wasn't writing funny songs.
no.
And who else was there? I mean, today there's, oh my God, this is the golden age of great songwriting. So one of the things that I feel I can do with Tom more than anybody else I write with is there's always a chance that it could turn out to be funny.
Yeah,
And that we could even use something funny to say something very serious. And that was one of the things I most appreciated about Tom as I was, you know, flogging around, muddling around, trying to learn how to be a songwriter. It's like, oh, well, there's always that. And that's a powerful tool.
yeah. Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, telling all kinds of jokes every Monday at 2. And I like the
Sure.
part about giving healthcare reports. That's incredibly important.
Well, we both have a lot of healthcare reports to give.
Oh,
It's an organ recital.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You just get north of that certain age and it just keeps going and going. And then yeah, the reports on your peers as well. It's endless.
Unfortunately, there's
Well,
wait.
I remain a tremendous fan of Shel Silverstein's, and I rejoiced in his friendship. We got together a couple of times to write. We wrote a couple of things inconclusively. We came up with in the very short time with no winners, but I've no doubt we would have had him if his as they say untimely death. I
Mm,
mean, the guy did everything right. He lived a monk's life of health and
yeah.
still had a heart attack and died. Um, he even wrote a funny song with Bob Gibson called "You're Still Gonna Die."
Yeah.
It, and,
Yeah.
and and
That's
it
right.
and it is a funny song, and it's
Mm,
what happened.
Yeah.
But Shell had uh, his rules of songwriting, and they're still the best and simplest I've ever come across. And I use them with everybody I write with. And rule number one is he or she who brings the idea to the table is the boss and decides when the song is done.
Mm.
Rule number two is everything is split evenly, right down the middle. And the third and final one is that the boss's name and publishing company go first in the title, and that's it.
Well,
There's
it,
no business of counting lines, how many more lines you wrote in the song. If you were in the room, you have your share.
or if you were even agreed to be in the room and something happened and you couldn't be, but one of us wrote a song,
Yeah,
that song wouldn't have gotten written had this
no,
time not been not been
true.
scheduled. And you know, apropos to the song selections for this album, I think you're right. It was we took a long view on a lot of stuff. I mean, even the
yeah.
song that kicks off the album, "The Future," is from the perspective of someone who had been that person
Mm,
and looked, you know, it's you learn how to do this the same way you learn how to play baseball. You know, you hang around with the big kids, you watch what they do, you imitate what they do, and eventually you kind of woodshed, and then eventually, if you're good enough, you're invited to be on the team. And that third verse was so, and the bridge, you know, talking about we live in lives we think will never end, and walk in steps of those who've gone before. We feel the press of time as we extend a hand to those that we never knew. that we were waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminiscing about the Kansas stage and also including strings on a lot of these arrangements, like the future.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
just really
well,
gives that. Yeah.
well, Stuart Duncan, who's our fiddle player and has been
Oh,
my fiddle player on all my albums. The first time he's absolutely the most in-demand fiddle player in
he's
Nashville.
he's God's fiddle player.
He really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
He listens.
Yeah.
He clears his schedule because he says, God, I like finally working with meaningful songs.
Mm.
And he's the best. He's the best. When the first time I ever worked with him, my piano player said, so who are you going to use on fiddle? I said, Stuart Duncan. He said, whoa. And I said, you could do worse than Stuart Duncan. He said, everybody's worse than Stuart Duncan. But
That's the
yeah,
goal.
and so all these songs, there are other songs that could have been a part of this, but these seem to tell a story in a really unique way. And I really, I was looking through, because Tom and I are meeting in a little over an hour now, and I
Yeah.
was looking through our file of songs we've written this year, and I thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
there's another album in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you could if you asked me to sum it up for this album, you say this is an album made by two people who love songs.
And what they could
Absolutely.
do.
And
Yeah, and what
chronicling
they can
what's
do.
going on around them. It's
Mm.
there's some things like that in being in journalism. I like how you have your ode to journalism in here about, the last newsstand. It's just really, really paints that picture for me as well, like where everything has gone as far
Yeah.
as how we get information and where it's going. It's just, there's some things that are very sad about it, but there's a lot of reality to it too.
You,
Artie's
you
Last
know,
Stand.
when I listen to that song, I flash back to a fairly recent memory. I was in Paris at the end of a long tour in England, and I finished in Paris in some bar, and it was heaven. And I got up from my kind of seedy hotel and went down to the corner to a Parisian cafe, and I sat down with my copy of the Herald Tribune, which I hadn't seen since the last time I'd been across, and had this unbelievable French coffee and a croissant,
Yeah.
and just being able to open the newspaper at my leisure was just heaven.
Hmm.
Newspapers are heavenly things.
Yeah, yeah. It's that
They're just the
tactile
right
thing.
size.
Yeah, yeah. Magical, really magical,
So
and great memories. Just sitting at a
yeah,
cafe in Paris. I
I'm
love
I'm
that.
I'm sure that the newspaper seller there's name was Artie. Bound to have been.
Artois.
Artois.
Not
Well, and,
exactly.
and it's not only being nostalgic, it's assigning what value there is in
Mm.
that. I mean, the AJC is no longer today
Yeah, yeah.
is
All
no
right.
longer a print newspaper, and you just hope that, well, I've seen it in other towns where all of a sudden you don't read any local news.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Becomes
all,
a
it's
news
all over the
desert.
wire, and one of the things that really keeps me grounded in this time of political, you know, this is a podcast, so I can say
Oh yeah.
shit show
Uh-huh.
is the fact that the grounding of our democracy is local.
Yeah, Yeah, it's
That's
very important.
that's the foundation. I mean, yeah, you can know everything you want about Bernie Sanders' platform, but it doesn't matter if you don't know who your city council person is, who makes decisions for 90% of your life. And just the whole way of, you're reading an article on page 1 is continued on page 14, and you have to go through 13 pages where you just might find something that you didn't think you'd be interested in, but you found your way. So we both really love that song and the way it turned out. And
Yeah, yeah, it really captures that because that is a trend now. It's going all digital. Our newspaper here in Atlanta is not going to be printing anymore, and it's, there's a sad thing about that and also a reality. And it's just just like music, people paying for it, just like journalism, people paying for it, but like nowadays people don't have to.
yeah,
And that's really sad how it's these are professions.
So you live in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm also here in the
So
Atlanta
do
area.
you ever run into my friend John?
Oh yeah. Oh
yes,
yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Always in Decatur, which isn't too
Yeah.
far from me, and he's
No, it's
actually
not.
closer.
yeah. Well, I just have to say that how much admiration I have for my brother Tom here, who has led a creative life for 70 years now. I mean, it's really quite remarkable. It's a model for younger folks like me,
Oh yeah, what a life! What a life, and all these
that you
accomplishments.
can keep being relevant. I
Yeah,
mean, there's plenty of things you hear. Well, here's Billy Joel's first song in 20 years, and you go, what?
Yeah.
What did you do for 20 years? It's thrilling to be able to do what we do. And
I learned a secret a long time ago, and I share it every time I teach. So if you want to be a songwriter, here's what you do. You pick up today's newspaper or go online for it, and you find anything in there, and you will find something that moves you to some emotion. It can be rage, it can be sorrow, it can be hilarity, but something will get to you, and then you write a song about that from the point of view of either an eyewitness or an actual participant in what the story is. Place yourself in the middle of it. Do as Shakespeare said, hold a mirror up to nature, and you'll be chronicling the times you live in. You'll be writing about something that really happened and that people can relate to. And above all, you'll successfully avoid writing yet another goddamn relationship song.
mm-hmm. We have more than enough of those. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
well,
Um,
and I think both Tom and I think pretty cinematically, which is why the stories, you have this little 3-minute movie that you're making, and you don't want to do anything to you want your listener to be in there, and don't do anything dumb
Mm.
to let them get out of there for even an instant. Don't use a stupid rhyme. Don't mess up your meter. Don't leave a plot hole. It's, I often say, okay, you got the first verse, you painted the picture. What happens next? Look around. Watch the movie. What's
right.
happening? What's happening? And anyway, well,
That's
we found
fantastic.
that we found that we think a lot the same way about writing, and are, not greedy enough to say, well, my idea has to be the idea. What if we did this? Okay. Oh, well,
Yeah,
that was unexpected.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a better song than it would have
That's
been
the
if I wrote
fun
it by
part.
myself. Yeah.
That's the fun part. The surprises that Uh, you at the end, you've written a song that neither of you would have written on his own.
Well, one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite writers, Billy Collins, is
Oh,
that your pen can either be a dictation device or it can be a flashlight.
Oh yeah.
ah,
How true that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Collins, who finished some poem, I forget which one, with the gorgeous line, "Down the dangerous halls of high school."
Which they were.
They
Yeah.
Ah,
were.
No more than ever.
Yes. And we halfway knew it at the time.
Hmm.
No, the Billy Collins is a hell of a. And the song that he wrote, the poem that he wrote about turning 10,
mm.
and it was a lament and leaving behind everything that he had leaving behind. Gorgeous poem.
Mm. Point. Yeah. Right on point. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for stopping by, guys. It's been fantastic. Together Again is out for 2026. So this is another exciting year, and the collaboration continues. Wasn't that pretty interesting? And I like how they brought up the idea of people going to Nashville on the daily, actually make it a routine to just simply write songs and make it part of their discipline. But that is what keeps these guys really going and keeps them so sharp and alive at their ages, is that they're constantly creating. And it's really inspirational. I mean, I haven't written a lick of a song, but I'm always creating and always trying to do that. And to me, I find that's quite inspirational. And it's just fantastic to hear them have so much enthusiasm for something they have done way more than half their life, most of their lives, actually. So I love that. I love that about talking with people on this podcast and doing these kind of things. So I hope we'll have more of these coming up in the future. And take care. Thanks for tuning in if you've come this far.